Shalom. All praises to Yahweh Bahashem, Yahweh Shai Bahashem, Rakah Wadash. Double honors to the elder apostles, the bishops, and the elders of GMS who rule well. Peace and salutations to the elect. My name is Aina. The title of this video is Global News Highlights, right? We're back again, basically in the news with this DeepSeek artificial intelligence app. Answer the question. I said, what is the major news worldwide in the past 24 hours? Right now, at this point, you really don't need to ask it because things is popping off, right? Things is heating up in the world. Tensions are flaring all over the world. EU, China, Russia, Iran, Israel, America, Canada jumping in the mix, right? So yeah, this is Baruch 4 and 30, 30. Baruch 4, chapter 30 says, take a good heart, O Jerusalem, for he that gave thee that name will comfort thee. Miserable are they that afflicted thee, and rejoice at thy fall. Miserable are the cities which thy children serve. Miserable is she that received thy sons. It says, for as she rejoiced at thy ruin and was glad of thy fall, so shall she be grieved for her own desolation. For I will take away the rejoicing of her great multitude, and her pride shall be turned into mourning. For a fire shall come upon her from the everlasting, long to endure, and she shall be inhabitant of devils for a great time. For I just talked about America, Babylon the Great will be destroyed. It was brought here on slave ships, right? And now we're witnessing the fall of this place, right? Who has continued oppressed us, right? Set up laws, and things to keep us down, you know. And then, they did a lot, all right? They did a lot. So anyway, it's going down. This is in the news, basically, DeepSeek. We got 5 points here. So we got escalating Middle East conflict. It says Iran retaliates, right? And what does that mean? Basically, Israel struck Iran. Iran struck Israel. U.S. struck Iran. Iran struck U.S. So that's what's happening. We got these things popping up. All players are coming to the field. It says Iran retaliates. Iran launched missile attack on the which is Al Udeid Air Base in Qatar, right? It says the largest U.S. military installation in the Middle East. So they picked the biggest fish over there in the area and they attacked it. It said in response to U.S. strikes on its nuclear facility, Qatar is intercepted the missiles, reporting no casualties, right? So that's what they're reporting. You know, of course, the story's gonna continue to go on. They're gonna go to war and war. We want to see what happens out of it. But basically, they're going to World War III, right? Trump, America has been drawn into the battle, right? Because now their installations are being attacked by Iran, right? This is open war. U.S. response: President Trump monitored the situation from the Situation Room. Mind you, that helicopter or that plane, the Doomsday plane, is parked over there. And now he parked that plane over there before he struck Iran with bunker buster bombs, right? So he knew what was up. All right. It says U.S. response: President Trump monitored the Situation Room. President Trump monitored the situation from the Situation Room while the Pentagon assessed damage from the strikes. It says the U.S. had preemptively warned citizens in Qatar to shelter in place. Then we have oil markets. It says Trump urged global markets to keep oil prices down, fearing disruptions from potential Iranian blockades of the Strait of Hormuz, a critical oil checkpoint. See, so all hell's about to break loose. All right. It says Israel-Iran strikes intensify, targeting Tehran. Israel bombed Eden prison. Matter of fact, Salaki, I wanted to look this up and look it up real quick. We have political dissidents. Let me see. Oh, we got some sedition here. All right. So this is targeting Tehran. It says Israel bombed even prison, a notorious detention center in Tehran holding political dissidents, signaling a shift to targeting Iran's ruling infrastructure. So now Israel is focusing on decapitating the ruling infrastructure, like the heads, right? It says France condemned the strike, citing risk to imprison nationals. All right. So what is dissidents? And then it says AIOBU, a political dissident, is someone who actively opposes or challenges the policies or actions of the government or political system, often through non-violent means, sometimes through violent means, though. This is sedition, right? So Iran is dealing with that sedition problem too. Uprising of the people over the government says they are individuals who express dissent. I'm going to get that right there. Which can range from vocal disagreement to civil disobedience. Hey, I gave you that scripture earlier about miserable are the cities, right? We're gonna grab this sedition real quick. So that's what's happening. This thing is happening all over the place. Even Iran is living with this problem. Because the Most High is stirring up a spirit in the world right now, right? Where all hell is breaking loose. The scriptures say a nation against nation, brother against brother, kingdom against kingdom, right? Let me grab this. Yeah, this is a second edition, 15, verse 14. It says, woe to the road and them that go therein, for the sword and the destruction go off nigh, and one people shall stand up and fight against another, and swords in their hands. For there shall be sedition among men, and invading one another. They shall not regard their kings nor princes, and the course of their actions shall stand in their power. See, so this is happening all over the world, right? And you should keep real quick. Like I said, you and Iran are dealing with this thing. All right, so continuing what I was doing, I want to look up this definition also. It says imprisoned nationals. So I'm saying that's like people that went over there that's probably in prison. Let me see. From the different, probably from France. France got a problem with that. Prison nationals. Oh, it says single country. It says okay. I searched up imprisoned nationals. It says imprisoned nationals refers to citizens of a country who are currently incarcerated, within their own nation's correctional facility. Okay. Okay. No. Okay. So France is what is France talking about? Maybe you mean foreign. Maybe they actually mean foreign nationals because imprisoned nationals is that's kind of normal, because you're in your own land and you're in prison for doing something wrong. So, but foreign nationals mean people like from France that came to Iran and now is in prison. So, anyway, it says France condemned the strike, citing risk to imprisoned nationals. All right. Then we got human toll over here. Over 950 killed in 11 days of conflict, with Iran firing missiles at Israeli cities and Israel striking nuclear and military sites. See? Let's see. Let's see that. We do. Yeah, 34. Right. This is Isaiah 34 in verse 1. It says, "Come near ye nations to hear, and hearken ye people, let the earth hear, and all that is therein, the world, and all things that come forth of it. For the indignation of the Lord Yahweh is upon all nations, and his fury upon all their armies. He hath utterly destroyed them, he hath delivered them to the slaughter." It says, "Their slain also shall be cast out, and their state shall come up out of the carcasses, and the mountains shall be melted with their blood, and all the hosts of heaven shall be dissolved." See, this is what we're heading to, right? We have an increase of human toll here. It's just counting up and up and up with missiles flying back and forth, and ultimately, pretty soon those missiles are going to be carrying nuclear warheads, right? And all the hosts of heaven shall be dissolved, and the heavens shall be rolled together as a scroll, and all their hosts shall fall down as the leaf falleth off from the vine, and as a falling fig from the fig tree. It says, "For my sword shall be bathed in heaven. Behold, it shall come down upon Idumea and upon the people of my cursed judgment." Right. So Esau even is about to get his righteous judgment. Right. It says, "The sword of the Lord Yahweh is filled with blood, is made fat with fatness, and with the blood of lambs and goats, with the kidneys of rams. For the Lord Yahweh hath a sacrifice in Basra," right? America. It says, "and a great slaughter in the land of Idumea," America, right? It says, "And the unicorn shall come down with them, and the bullocks with the bulls, and their land shall be soaked with blood, and their best made fat with fatness." And this is talking about basically the great soldiers. Like Trump said, uh, America's is the greatest soldiers. No one could do what they have done, you know. So the Most High said his sword is going to be bathed with the greatest of the soldiers, the top veterans. It says, "For it is the day of the Lord's vengeance, and the year of recompenses for the controversy of Zion." See, so these nations, they're feeling it, you know. All right, we got global. So that was point two. It was Israel-Iran strikes intensified. Now we have point three. It says global diplomatic fallout. Hey, what is it? Division. You might as well pull it up. You know, these all speak towards the end. All this stuff speak towards the end. This is good. This is good. Let's see, Matthew 12. Matthew 12. All right, let me see if you got a quick step on this. Luke. Slack, could you bear with me? So I just get Matthew 12. Right, they're completely divided. This Matthew 12 NLT. Before I even read it, because this whole point three, everyone here is divided. It says, Yahweh Shah, this is Matthew 12 and 25. It says, Yahweh Shah knew their thoughts and replied, "Any kingdom divided by civil war is doomed. A town or family splintered by feuding will fall apart." Right, and pretty much, Esau set this thing up, right? He, his hub is America. He ruled out of Europe, and he has put all his people as puppet leaders in these different lands. Even what is it? Uh, the brother Inspiration of Almighty just was going into it with the prince of I can't remember the name right now. The crown prince over there in that area that deals with the oil, the Saudis, yeah, the Saudi Arabia. They dude is supposed to be JWO too. So that's what Esau did, and now they're all fighting and divided. Even that dude, the crown prince of Saudi Arabia, was telling America that they can't use their airspace to attack uh, Iran. I want to see what airspace they did use though. Let me search that real quick. Slack it. Shouldn't take long. We got the AI overview. It says departure and initial flight path. The B-2 stealth bombers that delivered their primary strikes took off from Whiteman Air Force Base in Missouri and flew east toward Iran. Okay. This was an 18-hour journey that required multiple mid-air refuelings. And they couldn't refuel over Saudi Arabia. All right, anyway. Shalom to the brother, inspiration of the Almighty. All right, this is Matthew 12 and 25. It says, and Yahweh knew their thoughts and replied, any kingdom divided by civil war is doomed. A town or family splintered by feuding will fall apart. And if Satan is casting out Satan, he is divided and fighting against himself. His own kingdom will not survive. That's the point. Right, and their inward thought is that they will survive. Pursuant to Psalm 41:11. That's why they're fighting so hard right now to try to fix this bruise, right? But the scriptures say there's no healing of thy wound, right? So there ain't no fixing it. So global diplomatic fallout, point 3, Putin warns of dangerous line. Russia thinking about something. It says Russian president criticized U.S. strikes as unprovoked aggression, but stopped short of offering concrete support to Iran during a meeting with Iran's foreign minister. All right, Russia is gonna support Iran. All right, that's in the prophecy right there. And I'll grab it. I'll grab it. It's Ezekiel 38. Hey, Trump was saying no one knows what I'm gonna do. The prophets and the Lord, we were saying he's gonna help Israel. All right, we were telling you that, and it happened. And now we're telling you that Russia is gonna help Iran. This is Ezekiel 38 and 1. It says, "In the word of the Lord Yahweh came unto me, saying, Son of man, set thy face against Gog, the land of Magog, which is Russia, the chief prince of Meshach and Tubal, and prophesy against him." Right. So this Meshach and Tubal is Turkey. Right. It says, "And say thus, said the Lord Yahweh Bahashim Yahushua, behold, I am against thee, O Gog, the chief prince of Meshach and Tubal." Now Russia is Edomites. Right. Russia is an Edomite. Right. It's kind of like when the Most High used Cyrus, right, the Great, to help the Israelites. Back in history, now Yahweh is using Russia to help bring, the downfall of Babylon the Great, America. It says, and say, thus saith the Lord Yahweh Bashmiel Shai, behold, I am against thee, O God, the chief prince of Meshach and Tubal. And I will turn thee back and put hooks into thy jaws, and I will bring thee forth in all thine army, horses and horsemen, all of them. But in verse 39, it says Russia is going to be destroyed. And in Isaiah 34, it talks about destroying the armies. So it doesn't matter that, basically what I say. Anyway, it says, verse 4, and I will turn thee back and put hooks into thy jaws, and I will bring thee forth in all thine army, horses and horsemen, all of them clothed with all sorts of armor, even the great company with bucklers and shields, all of them handling swords. Then it goes to point 5, so Persia, right, which is the Persians, which is Iran. Right, even that interview with Tucker Carlson, and one of the I forgot what they called him, a senator or something, and Tucker Carlson was asking him, what does he know about Iran? And that dude that Tucker Carlson was interviewed, who he was interviewing, called him the Persians. It's one of the recent videos. I can actually probably get the name right now. Tell it to you, but you can't hear it. Here we go. Yeah, Tucker confronts Ted Cruz on his support regime on his support for regime change in Iran. So this dude Ted Cruz. So Ted Cruz called Iran the Persians, and right here in the Bible is telling you that Persia, Ethiopia, and Libya, with them, all of them had shielded helmet. So Persia is going to be joined with Iran to go against Israel and Babylon the Great here in Ezekiel 38. All right. So we have, so Putin warned of dangerous line Russian president criticized U.S. strikes as unprovoked aggression, but stopped short of offering concrete support to Iran during a meeting with Iran's foreign minister. It says UN warns of spiral of chaos. Secretary General Antonio expressed alarm over escalating violence, while China cautioned against war spillover. See, everyone is here. Everyone is like, yo, whoa, whoa, whoa. Said NATO summit discord. Trump blocked a joint statement on Ukraine at the G7, deepening rifts with allies. NATO leaders agreed to increase defense spending to 5% of GDP, though Spain negotiated an exemption. Hey, completely divided, and it ain't. They're trying to heal themselves. They're trying to figure out which way next to go. This is Jeremiah 51:6. Flee out of the midst of Babylon and deliver every man his soul. Be not cut off in her iniquity, for this is the time of the Lord's vengeance. Right, the Lord being Yahweh. Right, that's his name. Says he will render unto her a recompense. Babylon have been a golden cup in the Lord's hand that made all the earth drunken. The nations have drunken of her wine, therefore nations are mad. Yeah, all these different laws and policies and things that Edom put out there to these nations, and now they call on these nations are calling on these same laws and saying, yo, what you're doing is illegal. You can't just attack, without going through the proper lines or whatnot. You can't just not let the Palestinians eat food. You can't block that off. So and now Esau's like, I don't care about none of that. Right? It says Babylon is suddenly fallen and destroyed. How for her? Take balm for her pain. If so be she may be healed. It said, we will have healed Babylon, but she is not healed. Forsake her and let us go, everyone into his own country, for her judgment reaches unto heaven and is lifted up even to the skies. Right, that's why the nations won't know. Right, Yahweh's about to magnify his name. Right, they're gonna say, "Oh no, this place is through," and then she's gonna be destroyed. It's gonna be over with. All right. So we're in point 4 now. We got a Syria church bombing. Let me grab this. A Syrian church bombing, a suicide attack at a Greek Orthodox church in Damascus killed 25 with ISIS linked. Another one of America's proxies. It says Kiev under fire, Russian strikes killed 10 in Ukraine's capital, hitting apartments in a metro station used as a bomb shelter. All right, you grab that on Amos 3 and 6. All right, this is Amos 3 and 6. Shall a trumpet be blown in the city and the people not be afraid? Shall there be evil in a city and the Lord Yahweh have not done it? Right, the answer is the Lord did it. Right, he's bringing complete judgment to this place. Then we have still in point 4. It says Taiwan EU ties. Bro, even Taiwan is shifting away from America now, or that's the move they're making. Because you grab that. Because if they're thinking America's about to go down, they're trying to shift ties somewhere else. Who's the next major player? And they think it's going to be EU, but it's really going to be the Israelites. It says Psalms 49:11, their inward thought is that their houses shall continue forever and their dwelling places to all generations. They call their lands after their own name, right? So that's what these devils do. Here it says Taiwan EU ties. Analysts urge Europe to strengthen partnership with Taiwan, citing shared democratic values and tech collaboration amid U.S. unpredictability. Yeah, Trump is this madman, this fierce king ruling. Hey, matter of fact, listen to this. Slack here. I just thought about this. Yeah, listen to this real quick. Hold on. Because unpredictability is what's causing even Japan to say, you know what, we're done with you. Yeah. Look,
Stop. Some of Wow, Japan is absolutely furious at the Trump regime and the current ruling party, the Liberal Democratic Party, led by Japan's current Prime Minister Ashiba, doesn't even want to be photographed or videoed around the Trump regime. They also feel the Trump regime continues to basically defraud the Japanese when it comes to the trade negotiations, with Donald Trump imposing tariffs against Japan, and in important defense discussions as well. The Trump regime keeps on changing the terms, changing the deals. Obviously, the Trump regime revoked a trade deal it entered into with Japan in 2018, which pissed everybody off. There are elections scheduled to take place for the upper chamber in Japan's legislature on July 20th. So there was an important defense meeting that was supposed to take place between Japan's top defense ministers and United States officials on July 1st. But you see, the United States is now saying that they want Japan to increase its defense spending by 3.5%. That's up from 3%. And Japan's like, you got to stop changing the terms. We don't even know what you are requesting of us. It's becoming offensive to our dignity as the Japanese people. We are hereby canceling our July 1st meeting with you. And a lot of this is also because people believe the Liberal Democrat.
Right. See, so Trump is unpredictable. U.S. is unpredictable. Making agreement, changing agreement, even with Iran. It was Trump who basically, you know, signed some agreements for this nuclear situation that had sucks like I'm not too I don't remember it too well, but I know Trump signed some agreements for Iran, and then he took Iran off the agreements, and he tried to put Iran back on the agreement. Right, that was why they started enriching uranium, because they was off the agreement. Right, so Trump is unpredictable as hell, and everyone's seeing that. So 25, last point here. It says disasters and crime. So we got Hurricane Eric, the Category 4 storm weakened after landfall in Mexico, but triggered deadly floods. We have the murder, the Bali murder. An Australian man was shot dead at a villa. 2 English-speaking suspects were arrested. And then we have a French wedding attack. It said a bride was killed and groom injured when gunmen opened fire at a wedding in the southeastern France. Hey, that's the time we're living in. The Most High is stirring this thing up. Let me get that spirit of vengeance. Ecclesiastes 39. Right, it's Ecclesiastes 39 and 28. It says, there be spirits that are created for vengeance, which in their fury lay on sore strokes. In the time of destruction, they pour out their force and appease the wrath of him that made them. Right, and we're in that time now where destruction needs to be here, because we're at the end. The end is manifest, right? It says, fire and hell and famine and death, all these were created for vengeance. Teeth of wild beasts and scorpions, serpents in the sword, punishing the wicked to destruction. Just the Lord is going now in these last days, right? They feeling it. And our low wing ratified from the lesson. I'll say shalom. So elect, which consists of men, women, and children, shalom.